What's up, guys? I'm Matt Reisinger.
And I'm Wade Paquin.
And on the build show today, condition crawl space. Let's get going. All right, Wade, we're visiting one of your jobs right here on an incredible lot right in the water. We're talking about condition crawl spaces, but first off, before we get into the details on this condition crawl space, why not a full basement for this house?
It's a great question, Matt. So we are in an area that has a very high water table, and that is mostly driven by the fact that there's a lot of ledge here. And we know water likes to follow ledge. Yep. So there's a couple things already going on here on the site to help mitigate that outside of the perimeter here of the foundation.
Gotcha.
We've got what's called a curtain drain. So on three sides of the property, right, this slopes down to the water. So the sides and the back have a curtain drain to pick up the water table and help get that out. But it's still really bad.
Yeah.
And so we couldn't get a full depth basement in here. So
Makes sense.
we wanted a crawl space so we could get some of our ductwork and some of the MEPs, if you will, down here and not have like a slab on grade.
I love a good crawl space, and this is textbook Wade. This beam right here will have joists sitting up on top of it, I'm assuming, and then on top of the mud sill is going to be top of plywood, is that right?
Yeah, so we'll have some engineered joists going in this direction here that will sit flush with that PT.
Okay.
And the plywood's going to come over the top of that.
Got it. So in other words, you've got a solid 3 or 4 feet. Walk me through this concrete slab and how and when you put this slab in.
Sure, so you know this is one of our kind of trademark details.
I credit you with pioneering this approach.
Thank you. I don't know if someone else has done it before me, but it's something we like to use often because it works.
Yep.
So we've got our foundation in, we've got that backfilled, we've set our subgrade here within the foundation, compact gravel. So anything virgin where it would have stayed, where we're backfilling in around the perimeter, the overdig of the foundation is going to get the gravel compacted, and then below the slab, 6 inches of 3/4 inch, what we call around here crushed stone.
Yep.
Some people call that gravel or wash gravel.
Yep.
Basically, 3-inch size, kind of jagged stone. Yep.
Yeah.
That's compacted. And then we come in and we apply that closed cell spray foam. So we've got about, on average, 2.5 inches.
Gotcha.
Underneath where we're standing on the slab. It's all monolithic. It comes up the sidewalls here in the
really
foundation,
nice.
12 to 18 inches. We feather that out back to about 1/2 inch. When we're weather tight, we can continue the foam where we left off, overlapping that, continue it from to be monolithic, and carry that up to the underside of our subfloor.
That's beautiful. So now this slab that we're standing on is floating on top of that closed cell, but it's really, that closed cell is incredible high PSI
very high,
value.
25 PSI, I believe. It's very high.
Way high.
Plus
so you're not going to move or squish or anything on this slab.
Absolutely not.
The other beauty of this slab, it means that you can clean this up for your clients and make this really nice down here. And what I've done in the past is I put a mechanic's creeper down in the basement, so if I need to service anything, I can roll around with a flashlight and get into every corner and see exactly what it's looking like.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other thing I'm noticing, which is correct, no venting, right? Most crawl spaces are pretty gross. There's rats and raccoons and spiders and all kinds of stuff. There's no vents to the outside, so this is in effect a short basement, just like you'd build a basement, just with not much head height.
It is, yeah, and because of this application, it will stay dry, which means we'll have good air, which means it won't be your typical musty, smelly basement.
Yep.
And worst case scenario, if you have to throw a dehumidifier down here, so be it.
You could just do a $300 plug-in one that you get at the hardware store.
Or even like a
Nothing
Santa
special.
Fe if you wanted to do something on the higher, nicer end.
Sure.
But most likely not needed.
Yeah. I really like this, Wade. This is textbook. Hey, before we leave, I want to show you guys one other detail that Wade does on all his projects that I really like. Wade, walk me through your mud sill and how you're using this standard sill sealer but taking it to the next level.
Sure, so we use this a lot on most construction sites, your capillary break, right? But this connection, right, wood to concrete, as you know, is one of the most important connections on the home.
For sure.
It's an area that's prone to leaks for bugs, insects.
It's a bug path.
Sure.
Big time.
So what we do is before anything goes down on top of the concrete, we'll run a bead of, you can use different types of sealants. Here we're using Big Stretch in the gray color.
And you're noticing where your guys did it down here, they over did it, so you can kind of see what they did, but they were putting a bead or two on the concrete first. And then talk to me about this bead here that's kind of sticking out.
Yep, so that first bead goes on the about, you know, a ½ inch to an inch in from the face of the concrete, the foundation face. And then what the guys are doing is they're putting a bead on the underside of this PT. Then they're stapling the sill seal onto it. So now you have this as one piece that they can control and put this down so it's nice and neat. So now you have, so it's bead of sealant, capillary break, bead of sealant, wood. And then we crank that down with the anchor bolts. It makes a nice little sealant sandwich, and we're nice and airtight.
And you've got a little bit of squeeze out right here. You know that Ivan and the crew did it. Really nice job by your guys.
Yep, you know that it's nice and compressed down in there, and you have a nice tight seal.
And no matter whether you're doing crawl space, conditioned crawl space, a basement, that's a great detail that Wade's doing on all his houses.
And it's not expensive. You know, a case or so of this for a foundation this size, it's peanuts in the overall budget for the project, and what you get out of it is obviously a tremendous amount of value.
Last detail I want to point out too, Ivan, the framer, where his PT sill is coming up against this wall here, he also put it on the end of the board where it's coming into the foundation. So he's thinking about those details. You've obviously taught them the reason behind it, not just saying, hey, do this detail, right? You got a smart framer who knows what he's talking about.
We went over those details, and I certainly did remind him where we have some of those vertical connections that we want to make sure we're getting sealant there as well.
Yeah, good work, dude. Love it.
Thank you.
Guys, if you're not following Wade over on buildshownetwork.com, you should go check out his videos. And we're also filming a house that Wade is building on Block Island, which is about 12 miles off the coast here. And it's the Building on an Island series. We got 2 episodes left, so you got 15 episodes to catch up on. I'll put a link in the description to the Building on an Island series over on buildshownetwork.com. Wade, how about we close it out? You know my signature, right?
I've heard it once or twice.
Follow us on TikTok or Instagram. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on The Build Show.